evening. This is Chuck W3ON, operating as W3OC, net control for the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club net. This radio net meets every Monday here at 8 p.m. on the 147.12 megahertz Two Rivers ARC repeater system, and is also on 442.250 megahertz on that repeater, and also on Echolink. Membership in the Two Rivers ARC is not required to check into this net, as all radio amateurs are welcome. If you'd like information about the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Greenock, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the Internet's World Wide Web at https://trarc.org, and also up on Facebook. Radio Club meetings are held on third Tuesday of every month except in December, starting at 7 p.m. at the Plano Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 409 Oxford Avenue, Elizabeth, PA. Before I open this net for check-ins, is there emergency or proprietary traffic at this time? Getting on here. Does anyone have lists of silent keys in their radio amateurs who recently passed away? I haven't heard of any lately, but okay. That's always a good thing. Okay, we'll be taking check-ins here in a moment. When you check into this net, keep your call sign slowly and phonetically. Turn that off. Please let me know your name, call sign, and if you have any comments for the net. I'm going to take a little standby here. Anybody on Echolink who would like to check in, call now.
This is November 3, Alpha Hotel Charlie on Echolink. Antonio here in Pittsburgh. Good evening to you, Chuck, and everybody else on the net. I have no traffic at this time.
This is Kilo Charlie 3, Zulu India X-Ray. Jeff and Irwin, good evening, everyone. I have no traffic for the net.
Whiskey 3, Oscar India Echo. Listening on Echolink, no traffic for the net. I'll be listening. 7-3.
Okay, thank you. I got November 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie, Antonio on Echolink, Kilo Charlie 3 Zulu India X-Ray, Jeff on Echolink, thank you, and Whiskey 3 Oscar India Echo on Echolink. Okay. Alrighty, thank you for that this evening. I'm going to take now, we'll start some regular check-ins. Any members of the Board of Directors wish to check in, call now.
W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, Bob, Elizabeth Township. Evening, Chuck. Evening to the net, no traffic.
W3OC. Please recognize November 3, Juliet Hotel Bravo, Portable, out here in Pleasant Hills, along with Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Papa and Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa. Good evening to everyone, and hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving.
Net control. Net control, recognize Kilo 3, Charlie, Romeo, Oscar. John Baldwin, no comments, no traffic.
Okay, that time I got Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango. Excuse me. November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo Portable. We're also with Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Papa and Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa. They were also portable. And John, Kilo 3 Charlie Radio Oscar. Thank you. Are there any other members of the Board of Directors wish to check in? All right, now looking for stations that are operating mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County for the Two Rivers Inn.
W3OC. Please welcome Alpha 3 Mike Romeo, AA3MR. Name is Walt. Mobile here in Jefferson Hills. Good evening to you, Chuck. Everybody on the net. Hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. No comments.
W3OC.
W3OC, hopefully, please copy Whiskey 3, Sierra Hotel Foxtrot, Steve, handheld portable Pitcairn up in the living room.
W3OC. W3OC, please copy Kilo Alpha 3, Yankee Golf Lima, Bruce in Fayette County, Connersville. Good evening to everybody on the net. No further comments.
W3OC. Kilo Bravo 3, Victor Sierra Papa, Dan, Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net. No traffic.
W3OC Net Control. W3OC Net Control, please copy Kilo Bravo 3, Yankee Romeo Uniform, Eddie and Linwood, Balvernon. I do have some traffic and comments for later on in the net. Also, please check in my lovely wife, Connie, Kilo Bravo 3, Yankee Charlie. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to everyone on the net. Back to Net Control.
WOC, please check in November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform. That's N3TAU. Good evening, Chuck. No traffic, no comments. Westmoreland County.
Okay, thank you. I got a bunch that time. Thank you. Got Alpha 3 Mike Radio Mobile, Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Fox, Kilo Alpha 3 Yankee Golf Lima, Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, Kilo Bravo 3 Yankee Radio Uniform with comments, Kilo Bravo 3 Yankee Charlie, and November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform. Thank you. Anybody else that's mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County?
W3OC, please copy Kilo Alpha 3, Foxtrot, Whiskey, Quebec, Jeff in Gravesburg. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, got Kilo Alpha 3 Fox Whiskey, Quebec. Anybody else mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County? I'll open up for general check-ins. Anyone else call now?
3OC, Whiskey Alpha 3, India, Oscar, Uniform, Kilo.
W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3 Sierra Uniform Lima. Fall over here in Pleasant Hills. No comment, no traffic.
W3OC. This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa, Jim in Carnegie.
W3OC, Whiskey Alpha 3, Bravo Oscar Joliet, Ted Squirrel Hill. Good evening, you Chuck. Good evening, net. No traffic.
W3OC, it is Kilo 3 Hotel, India, Romeo, Merle and Elizabeth Township. Good evening, Chuck. No comment.
Okay, it's W3OC. I got WA3IOU, Kilo Charlie 3 Sugar United Lima, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa, Whiskey America 3 Bravo Oscar Japan, and Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio. Anybody else? All right, we'll take a standby here. We'll pick up Eddie with the comments here in a couple of minutes. Let's see, what have I got here? Some announcements on Two Rivers activities. The radio club operates 3 other radio nets beside this one during the course of the week. Wednesday evenings at 8:30 p.m. on this repeater system, 147.12 and 442.250. And, of course, Echo Link 2. We have the Two Rivers ARC GapNet social gathering. You're welcome to join us for that. Thursday evenings and on at 8 o'clock p.m. on 28.460 on 10 meters on upper sideband. And on Friday evenings at 6 o'clock p.m. In the 40 meter band, usually 72.15 kilohertz, depending on band activity. Those are the nets that we have. Of course, we have the club meetings are on the third Tuesday. There's no club meeting this month due to the Christmas holiday. We also have the Two Rivers ARC Hampton Eggs Breakfast. That's held on the second Saturday of every month at the Rock Run Inn. That's located above the golf course. That will not be held this month because of the Christmas party. Also, on the second Thursday of each month, we have a thing called the Operations Night. That's a social activity. It's held at starts at 7 p.m. General public is invited to attend to that. We use the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department social hall for that. 4312 Liberty Way, I think it's called, in Elizabeth, PA. It's right outside the city of McKeesport. We get on the air and operate on HF and do other things, do some experimentation and stuff. You're welcome to come join us for that. And of course, we do have amateur radio exam sessions. We do have an exam session coming up on the 10th of December at the McKeesport Area High School. I don't have blasted address here. It's on Eaton Park Boulevard, McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Starts at 6:30 p.m. I got word the other night we have a bunch of people coming out for tests, which is a good thing. If you wish to take a test, you should contact the coordinator, Mike Kilo Victor 3 Lima. Best way is probab't by phone. Leave a message, 412-751-9657, 412-751-9657. For that, that's they prefer pre-registration, but they will take walk-ins up to the capacity of the room they use. They use a classroom for that. So that's coming up on the 10th. Let's see here. That's Radio Club activities. At least ones I can remember. Well, let's see. We have. Okay. I got that. December 6th through the 8th, that's coming up this weekend, I believe, is the ARL 160-meter contest on the air. Of course, the club holiday dinner is coming up on the 14th. What the hell was that? Oh. On the 14th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. For club members and their families, and it's a social gathering at the Rock Run Inn over there at the Butler's Golf Course on Rock Run Road in Elizabeth, PA. Okay, I'm looking at the regular calendar. On December 14th and 15th is the ARL 10-meter contest. That's a single sideband CW contest on the HF band. Should be fairly active. On the same day, the 14th, the ARES has a meeting. It starts at 9:30 a.m. at Steel City Amateur Radio Club clubhouse over there in Carnegie, PA. Okay, looking a little bit further into January. January 11th is a ham fest. It's called Winterfest. That's held in the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area. I think it's at a VA Veterans Administration building, I believe. I'll have to get more information on that as we come a little bit closer. And at the end of January 25th and 26th, there's another radio contest called Winter Field Day. That's not an ARL activity, but a lot of individuals and clubs participate in that. 25th and January and 26th. The local ham fest here is February the 23rd, sponsored by the Wires Association of the South Hills. It's called Wash Fest. It's scheduled for the South Park Home Economics Building, 3735 Buffalo Drive in South Park Township, PA. That's over there in South Park. And of course, the Two Rivers ARC Ham Fest, put this on the calendar, please. April the 6th. Is the Two Rivers ARC Ham Fest at the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department. Social Hall, 4312 Liberty Way in Elizabeth, PA. More information on that's to be announced. Okay. I think that's kind of what I got at the moment. the conditions have been pretty decent on the radio band. Been quite a bit good DX going on. I know this operator has heard 9 Lima 5 Alpha over there in Sierra Leone. They've been on quite a bit on various bands. They're just one of many additions going on. So check your local DX cluster for that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to see what's on here. I don't have a current ARL bulletin on the DXing stuff. Okay. At this time, I'm going to take a standby. Does anybody need repeats for anything they've heard? This is W3OC.
3OC. Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel. Bill here in the Northern Panhandle of West Virginia. Good evening, everyone.
I got Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel. Thank you, Bill. Alrighty. Okay. Let me just get into this 1 second here. Thank you. Okay. Kilo Bravo 3 Yankee Radio Uniform. Please go with your comment.
Okay, W3OC, net control checking the group from Kilo Bravo 3. Eddie here in beautiful Linwood, Balvern, in Fayette County. For those of you who don't know, I'm the Sky One Amateur Radio Operations Coordinator for the entire National Weather Service Pittsburgh, PA County warning area. And upcoming this Friday evening, we're going to have SRD 2024, Sky One Recognition Day 2024. This is our 25th anniversary that we got together with the ARRL headquarters and the National Weather Service, and we decided to honor all of our Sky One severe storm spotters, both amateur radio operators and non-amateur radio operators. The festivities will begin this Friday evening, December 6th, from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Will be operating basically on a 24-hour period. Will conclude on Saturday evening, December 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you that aren't aware, our Sky One Recognition Day was developed in 1999 by the National Weather Service and the American Radio Relay League. It celebrates the contributions that Sky One volunteers make to the National Weather Service mission to protect lives and property. The amateur radio operators comprise a large percentage of the Sky One volunteers across our country. The amateur radio operators also provide vital communications between the National Weather Service and emergency management if normal communications become inoperative. During the Sky One special event, operators will visit National Weather Service offices and contact other radio operators across the world. Sky One Recognition Day 2024 is for all Sky One severe storm spotters to participate. SRD 2024 also has an active Facebook group page that you can check into if you have any questions or comments, or you can even check in and give your SRD number once you are registered, or if you're an amateur radio operator, you would use your call sign. To register, if you go to the top National Weather Service Pittsburgh's webpage, weather.gov/PBZ here, you can sign up, or go to weather.gov/CRH/Sky One Recognition. And we are proud to announce that again this year, K3MJW, the Skyview Amateur Radio Society, has been selected and will be operating using the call sign of National Weather Service Weather Forecast Office, Pittsburgh, PA's amateur radio station, WX3PIT, Whiskey X-Ray 3 Papa India Tango. Please listen for all these stations and feel free to participate and check in with them, give them a signal report, maybe your local weather, what you're experiencing, and so forth. But please congratulate and thank all of our Sky One severe storm spotters. Again, K3MJW will be kicking off the festivities Friday evening from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And again, Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're going to be using 2-meter UHF, HF single sideband, FT4, FT8, Echolink, DMR 10, 20, 40, and 80 meters. Everyone is invited to operate, participate. You are invited to please feel free to come in up to K3MJW and attend the festivities, and you're more than welcome to operate. There is a free downloadable certificate if you register, so please register. And so far we surpassed our last year's registration. We're up to 113, where last year we had 110, so we still have time to surpass that. Last year they had queues of over 1,110 at Skyview, so which is the most ever for the National Weather Service Pittsburgh to have QSOs. Also, let me take another buck. I don't want to forget, guys, the SantaNet is on 3916 kilohertz lower sideband. If you go to CQSanta.com, Santa will be on the radio, on the air, amateur radio, and share the magic of ham radio with Santa Claus and with your children, grandchildren, or your neighborhood kids. The SantaNet is held every evening from now on, between now and Thanksgiving, well, from Thanksgiving on to Christmas. Forgot we're already through Thanksgiving. Through Christmas Eve, and that's on 3916 kilohertz lower sideband. You can check in on CQSanta.com beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The net will begin here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So listen in. It's always a great thing. Connie and I, we participate in it every year and listening to all the kiddies talking to Santa. And the magic of ham radio. That's all I have. W3OC Net Control. Check on the group. Kilo Bravo 3 Yankee Romeo uniform. Stay safe, stay warm, stay healthy, and just monitor the weather beginning Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening into Friday. That's all I have. Back to Net Control.
B3YR uses the W3OC Net Control for Two Rivers Net. Thank you for the information. Does anybody need any repeats for anything that they've heard from MIDI? All right, thank you. All right. Let's see. I don't think I have any more announcements or anything. I'll take a quick standby. Anybody else wish to check in before I switch over to Newsline?
Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel. Bill here in Hancock County, West Virginia.
Got Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel. Anybody else?
Yankee Adam on Echolink in Latrobe. No comments.
Okay, again, please. Pushing on Echolink. Your call sign again?
This is Kilo Charlie 3, Zulu X-Ray Yankee, Adam in Latrobe. No comments.
Kilo Charlie 3, Zulu X-Ray Yankee on Echolink. Thank you, Adam. Anybody else, please? Okay, all right. Let me flip over some flipping switches here. Let's see what Newsline's got tonight. I think I got a better DX report than the one I gave out as W3OC. Switching to Newsline.
Last Sunday of November. Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2457 with a release date of Friday, November 29th, 2024, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST, an air leak on the ISS mystifies space agencies. New rules are being considered for the 5.9 gigahertz band, and Santa Claus believes in amateur radio. Do you believe in him? All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2457 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, weekly amateur radio news and bulletin service.
Now reporting from Picayune, Mississippi, here's Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. Our top story takes us into outer space, where there's a mystery aboard the ISS. Part of the spacecraft continues to be leaking air. John Williams, VK4JJW, tells us how the U.S. and Russian space agencies are dealing with it.
An air leak in the Russian section of the International Space Station has apparently worsened since it was first discovered 5 years ago, according to spacenews.com. The leak is in the vestibule that connects the Russian module with a docking port. Bob Cabana, who chairs the ISS Advisory Committee, said that even as the Russian team looks for, and hopes to remedy, the cause, Roscosmos believes that there is no immediate danger to the crew or the spacecraft. NASA, on the other hand, maintains that the leak compromises the safety of the Russian service module, saying that a little more than 2 pounds of air has been escaping daily. AMSAT News Service reports that, according to NASA's Office of the Inspector General, Roscosmos believes it can take sufficient safety precautions on behalf of the service module if the risk from the leak grows too great. Both space agencies agree that the hatch to the service module should be shut permanently at that point. AMSAT News Service said that this would mean one fewer docking port available to receive cargo from spacecraft arriving to make a delivery to the ISS. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
The FCC has intensified its focus on the 5.9 gigahertz band, where new rules are being finalized for the use of cellular delivery of communications to and from cars and trucks on the road. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, brings us the details.
Intelligent Transportation Systems, or ITS, scored a big gain in late November as the FCC voted on a proposal enabling the use of Cellular to Vehicle Everything, or CV2X, on the 5.9 gigahertz band. This would establish new rules for the use of ITS within 30 megahertz of that spectrum. The system is already in use by many automakers, sending and receiving messages over existing 5G cellular networks with alerts about traffic issues, conditions, road hazards, or speeding cars. The FCC measure also sets out the technical parameters for the use of CV2X, including power and emission limits. The system permits vehicles to communicate with roadside infrastructure and the cell phones of pedestrians, cyclists, and road workers, enabling safety communications even when there are no line-of-sight warnings. The FCC said in a press release that the new spectrum rules would, quote, accelerate the automotive industry and state and federal government plans for transitioning from data technology to more advanced CV2X automobile safety technology, end quote. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Portable operators who have lofty goals, in this case, goals to scale the heights of regional soda summits, are getting ready for Gallfest 2024, which is set to take place in late December in the UK. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, has those details.
Organizers will be watching the weather forecast in the days between Christmas and the New Year to see what day is most suitable for the return of Gallfest, a SOTA tradition first held in 2003. Over the years, the event's purpose has become one half SOTA and one half social. Since the beginning, activators have set up operations on summits in the Shropshire area or on summits near the border between England and Wales, staying close enough to one another for a convenient meet-up afterwards in Church Stretton for coffee and cake. Organisers Tom, M1EYP, and Jimmy, M0HGY, are hoping for a turnout that attracts even SOTA first-timers, and they expect lots of opportunities for summit-to-summit contacts. If you wish to participate, Tom advises following the discussion thread on the SOTA Reflector to coordinate with other activators as to which summits everyone is going to be on. By the way, Tom explains that the name for the event actually originates from the ancient Norman name for Wales, Pays de Galles, but someone misspelt it when the first SOTA event was launched. Gaul, spelt G-A-U-L, was actually the name for a region of Western Europe. Tom said no one ever bothered to correct the mistake, and so the name Gallfest simply became permanent. He and Jimmy hope the event itself becomes permanent, too. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
One of Europe's few remaining shortwave broadcasters is not going QRT quietly. Austria's ORS shortwave radio station in Moosbrunn is poised to go off the air on the 31st of December, as Newsline reported in October. But before it does, it will have its final 100 kW marathon on 6070 kilohertz on the 26th of December. The marathon on the AM station will begin with radio DARC programming at 0900 UTC and continue through other programs until Radio Power Mobile concludes at 1459 UTC. Meanwhile, Radio DARC has announced that starting Sunday, January 5th, its broadcasts will continue to be carried on shortwave thanks to an agreement signed with the station in the BBC broadcast complex in Wooferton, England. Listeners across Europe and the Middle East will be able to hear the programming on 9670 kilohertz. The high-gain antenna system at the complex is expected to give the 125 kW transmission an effective radiated power of nearly 4 megawatts. Meanwhile, the radio amateur-owned and run Channel 292 10 kW transmitter near Ingolstadt in Germany will continue to use the 6070 kilohertz frequency for more local reception of Radio DARC's program. The ORS station was formerly the Radio Austria International broadcast station and is well known for having had Europe's largest directional antenna system for shortwave broadcasts. A group of hams from eastern Pennsylvania boarded a special train to join Santa in collecting toys for the needy during a nearly 5-mile ride through Amish and Mennonite farm country. At the same time, they operated the special event station to promote their charitable mission. Amateur Radio Newsline Abramovich in T3V has the story.
Members of the Alberta's Amateur Radio Club and East Penn Amateur Radio Club joined forces to organize the Operation Toy Train event in northeastern Berks County, PA, in cooperation with the U.S. Marine Corps' Toys for Tots program on Sunday, November 24th, the last Sunday of November. The team, led by Nicholas Hopke, KC3SGN, and Walt Skavinsky, KB3SBC, activated W3A aboard a Conrail caboose pulled by a train operating along the Allentown and Auburn Railroad. The duo set up a homemade inverted L antenna stretched over the roof of a flat rail car to make HF contacts on 20 and 40 meters. They also employed a 2-meter radio and antenna to make VHF contacts with local hams along the route. During the 5-hour period, the group collected more than 160 toys at 3 stops along the rail line and made more than 75 contacts using the W3A call, including QSOs with stations across the continental U.S., Puerto Rico, and even Great Britain. Skavinsky said one guest operator, whose handle is Sierra Alpha November Tango Alpha, was particularly thrilled to learn that all of those who made contacts with W3A were on his nice list. Skavinsky says Santa was happy with the donations of so many toys brought by those who came out to greet the train and check out the activities of his ham friends. Santa thanked them all and promised he would make sure the toys find homes this Christmas. I'm Mark Abramovich, NT3V, in Kutztown, Pennsylvania.
Ireland's National Ham Radio Society recently lost a friend and a longtime advocate. We hear about him from Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Working behind the scenes for the Irish Radio Transmitter Society, Michael McNamara, EI2CL, left his imprint. Having joined the Society in 1965, first as a shortwave listener, he later took up the responsibility for collecting and sorting the incoming QSL cards and other items of correspondence. Michael got his ham license in May of 1973 and became a Society committee member. One of his accomplishments was to draw up the rules for the Worked EI Counties Award in the mid-1980s. Outside of his society responsibilities, Michael became well known as a high-scoring award chaser of DXCC, IOTA, and Summits on the Air, and before the 1991 collapse of the USSR, he actively chased contacts with all the Russian oblasts. An enthusiastic activator himself, he would also travel with teams to Irish offshore islands. In the 1970s, he was a contest station operator for EI1AA, which was widely known as the Irish Leprechaun Contest Group. Michael was 83. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
It's time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the 9Z4RG repeater in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, and on Echolink node 3384 on Saturdays at 1200 UTC.
W3OC.
Turn to someone new on staff there to assist them in processing their paperwork. We have those details from Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Adam Zimmel, W0ZML, has joined Amateur Radio Digital Communications as its Grant and Administrative Associate. The ARDC made the announcement on its website saying that Adam will work to help them handle the grant process and also provide support for some of the other internal operations at the ARDC. He has been on board since late October. Adam has a strong background in cybersecurity and IT policy. ARDC awards grants to qualifying applicants whose projects fit into one of three main categories: research and development, education, and the support and development of amateur radio. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Contacts made by a very sensitive radio telescope in the Netherlands are showing scientists tremendous promise, as we hear from Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
Radio amateurs made successful contacts with 3 Mars orbiters during a recent test of a single-dish radio telescope in the Netherlands. In early November, the CA Muller radio astronomy station, PI9CAM, conducted its first tests on X-band with an 8.4 GHz feed created by Dutch amateur Bert Mudeman, PE1RKI. This is the band researchers typically use for communications with satellites doing deep space exploration. The radio telescope at Doingalo successfully detected the carrier signal of the orbiters TRARC from China's space agency, as well as NASA's NAVEN and MRO. A post on the observatory's blog reported that signals were also copied from the European Space Agency's Hera spacecraft and the NASA probe Europa Clipper. The scientists were also able to decode data from signals received from Stereo A, NASA's space-based observatory. The telescope sensitivity played a key role here, as it did this past fall, when the Doingalo radio telescope functioned as an online Earth-Moon-Earth relay station during the scouting organization's Jamboree on the Air. The telescope successfully received the otherwise weak EME signals, which it fed to its web SDR for online listening. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
In the world of DX, we're listening for Ralph, DB4REB, operating as CN2REB while on holiday in Morocco from the 30th of November until the 30th of January. He'll be using CW, SSB, and FT8 on a variety of HF bands and plans to activate some POTA sites. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for a team of 8 operators using the call T46W. They'll be on the air from Cayo Santa Maria, IOTA number NA204, from the 1st to the 10th of December. Find them operating on a variety of modes from 160 through 6 meters. QSL via Logbook of the World. As the 43rd edition of the Italian Naval Old Rhythmers Club contest gets underway on the 7th and 8th of December, listen for the club's own station using the call IQ1NM. The operators will be using CW. The club is dedicating this year's contest to the memory of one of its members, Serafino De Filippi, IT9CKA. Be listening on 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters. See QRZ.com for more details. And from the 28th of November through to the 3rd of December, listen for a team of operators active from Saipan, IOTA number OC086. The operators include KH0-JA8VE, KH0-JO1ABS, KH0-W1VX, KH0-WB6Z, KH0D, and NH0E. They'll be using CW, SSB, FT8, and FT4 on 160 through 6 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. When a DX begins with the word Santa, you can expect pileups and more than just a little excitement. Think of Santa Maria in the Azores or Santa Isabel in the Solomon Islands. This time of year, however, the real prize is the contact with another entity named Santa, and the chase begins on November 29th. Ralph Squilacci, KK6ITB, is a true believer, and he shares the details with us in our final story for the week.
In the U.S., where the Thanksgiving holiday ushers in the most festive season of the year, hams in clubs around the world get into the spirit by sharing the magic of amateur radio with children, and maybe a few adults who still believe in Santa Claus. There are 3 Santa nets starting this week in the U.S. The bearded character will be on the air from the north of Colorado, where he'll be making use of the repeaters used by the Longmont Amateur Radio Club, the Alfred Memorial Radio Club, and the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. Santa will be using the call sign N0P. Youngsters who aren't in Colorado, or even in the U.S., can still reach Santa through Echolink node W0ENO-R8305, W4BOC-R, or 330246. In Kansas, the Cowley County Amateur Radio Club will be hosting Santa on the Sunflower Net. Listen for the call sign KF0MRO on the air November 30th and again on December 14th and 21st. Meanwhile, Santa will also begin delivering the gift of a radio contact on 80 meters with the help of the 3916 nets. The QSOs start every night on that frequency at 7 p.m. Central Time from the 29th of November. They end on the 24th of December because, as we know, Santa has other business to tend to that night. As with all third-party contacts over the amateur bands, rules and regulations apply. Visit www.3916nets.com for HF contacts and visit the QRZ.com page of N0P for details about contacts over the repeaters or Echolink. The Sunflower Net's details are at www.sunflowernet.us. Here's ho-ho hoping for a 5-9 all around. That would be a clause for celebration. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
Expressing yourself on the air is one thing. How about expressing yourself in a haiku? Pick up a pencil and join the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Share your experience by sending an original haiku to us here at Newsline. Use the entry form on our website, arnewsline.org, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. Sorry, but we cannot accept any entries that are not written in traditional haiku form with the correct number of syllables for each of the 3 lines. Share with fellow listeners the poetry that is inspired by your ham radio experience. With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News Service, ARDC, Cameras Netherlands, David Behar, K7DB, the FCC, 425DX News, Peter Ball, EI7CC, QRZ Forums, Radio DARC, shortwaveradio.de, the Soda Reflector, The Verge, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW in Picayune, Mississippi, saying 7-3. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024. All rights are reserved.
Okay, this is W3OC Net Control for the Tours. That concludes the Speaks Newsline transmission. Alrighty, let's see. I don't have any more announcements or anything, so this time I'll take a standby for anybody else who'd like to check in. Hasn't done so, call now. Thank you. I counted on my check-in list. Thank you for all taking the time to check in with us this evening. I got 24 check-ins total, of which 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were on Echolink. Thank you for the Echolink guys this evening. Nice to hear you in here tonight. And on behalf of the Radio Club, we'd like to wish everybody definitely a happy holiday season. And with that, we're going to turn the repeater back to General Amateur. This is W3OC, also known as W3ON, closing the 2 Rivers Net. Thanks.